Good morning, teacher and classmates. Today I'm very excited to present my honors project for the course of microeconomics. I will be explaining a very interesting topic that has to do with behavioral economics. And it is three ways businesses get consumers to buy more. First, we need to go a little bit deeper in what behavioral economics is. Behavioral economics is the study of psychology related to the economic decision-making processes of individuals. The original theory of economics thought individuals to be rational beings who make optimal and rational decisions when presented with a variety of options under conditions of scarcity. This theory believes that individuals analyze the costs and benefits of each option they are presented with, and they make the final decision based on this analysis, without being affected by emotions or any external factor. However, this has proven to be wrong. Behavioral economics explains individuals are not rational when making financial decisions. And in fact, we make rational decisions all the time because we are emotional beings and we sometimes make decisions that are not in our best interest because we get manipulated by other factors. Today, I'm going to explain three of the many ways in which consumers get manipulated by business to buy more: the decoy effect, the illusion of scarcity, and the anchoring bias. So I will start with the decoy effect. This is a pricing strategy used by businesses to make consumers switch from one option to a more expensive one. When consumers are presented with only two options, they are more prompt to choose the option with a lower price. So this is when businesses add a decoy to the options to make the option of higher price more attractive and as a more profitable option. Consumers change their preference for a product when they are presented with a third option. However, I think you will understand this better with a few examples. Starbucks uses a decoy effect to trick all of their customers into buying the large size coffee cup. When consumers are presented with just two options, one of $2.9 and another of $4.15, it is most likely for them to choose the one of $2.9. However, when Starbucks presents their customers with three choices, one of $2.9, one of $3.7, and another of $4.15, this makes a large option to seem as a more profitable option for the consumers to buy, when in reality, they are just making the small and medium size to seem as overpriced by adding a decoy that is at $3.7, tricking us to buy their large size coffee cup. One last example. Cinemas also uses decoy effect to price their popcorn. When consumers are presented with just two options of popcorn, one of $3 and one of $7, they are most likely to choose the $3 popcorn. However, when the cinemas add a third option of $6.5, consumers are most likely to buy the $7 popcorn as it seems as a more profitable option for them to buy. When in reality, the cinemas are adding the 6.5 popcorn as a decoy to trick us into buying their large size popcorn. Let's move on to another interesting strategy used by businesses, the illusion of scarcity. Businesses use this strategy to make consumers perceive a product or a service as limited in availability, and so they become more attractive. Much of this is related to the fear of missing out. That basically explains people have a desire to continue to stay connected with what other people are doing. This technique makes people think that others are desiring on that same product or service, and if they want to get it, they need to do it now. Amazon is a very common example of how the illusion of scarcity is used in sales. I think that most of us have used the Amazon website. And when you are considering to buy a product, there is always a sign saying, only X left in stock. This makes people think others are buying that same product, which involves the fear of missing out and also the illusion of scarcity, that this product is limited in availability. So people are more encouraged to buy it sooner, thinking it is scarce. In this example, we can see that in this product, it says only two left in stock. So this could motivate this person looking at this product to buy it sooner, thinking that it is scarce and that others are considering to buy it. Booking.com is another example of how they use this strategy to get their customers to buy their service quicker. They include phrases such as, booked X times for your dates in the last 24 hours on our site, and only X room left on our site, to encourage customers to book their service quicker. This gives the illusion that the service is scarce, that others are considering to buy it, and that it is desired by others. So people are more prompt to try the service. They are driven by a fear of missing out and the illusion that this is something that is scarce and that they should buy it soon. The last and most interesting technique, in my opinion, is the anchoring bias. When people are trying to make decisions under scarce circumstances, they often use an anchor as a reference or as a starting point. This explains that people tend to heavily rely on the first piece of information they are exposed to before making a financial decision. So this can have a serious impact on the decision they end up making and the price they're willing to pay for a product or for a service. Since anchoring can have a deep effect on a person's perception of value, it is an essential tool when making pricing strategies for a business. And there are many ways to use this strategy. For example, a useful technique that I think it has tricked many of us is when businesses show a discounted price based on a higher original price. Businesses post the retail price crossed out and then they present a lower price instead. Even if the final price is still high, the initial price was anchored and influenced how the consumers perceive the price. So for example, if we see a product with a hand tag that says $300, we may think, wow, this product is too expensive, I'm not going to buy it. But if we see the same product with a hand tag that says $1,000 crossed out $300, we're going to think, wow, this is such a great deal, I'm going to buy this product. Even if the $300 is a very high price for the product you're going to buy, we have been anchored to the $1,000 that we see before. So we're willing to pay a higher price for this product. But in reality, we have been anchored to the higher price of $1,000. So this is why we think that $300 is a really good deal and we're going to buy it, even though maybe the product is not worth it and it is overpriced.
To test if anchoring bias is something that really happens in consumers or in people in general, I asked 5 different people to give me a price for this NutriBullet. But first, I asked them to write their last 2 digits of the name, and then they shared with me their answers. So these were the 5 different answers. The first person told me that their last 2 digits of the name is 59, and that they will pay for this NutriBullet 400 soles. The second person told me that the last 2 digits of their DNA was 03, and that they will pay maximum 250 soles for this NutriBullet. The third person told me that the last 2 digits of the DNA was 22, and that they would pay 340 soles. The fourth person told me that their last 2 digits of DNA was 84, and they would pay maximum 430 soles for this NutriBullet. And the last person told me that their last digits of DNA was 12 and that they would pay 270 soles. When we analyze these results, we can see that the people that had higher last 2 digits of DNA were willing to pay more for the NutriBullet, and people with lower last 2 digits of DNA were willing to pay less. This can be explained actually with anchoring bias, and I was really surprised with these results because I didn't thought that it was going to work. So basically, people with higher last 2 digits of DNA were anchored by the number they wrote on their paper, and so they were willing to pay a higher price. This shows how anchoring bias could be a really helpful tool with businesses because consumers are really affected by the first piece of information they're exposed to. So it can change drastically the amount they're willing to pay for a product or how they react to a price of the product. And in this case, this statement was proved. I really had a great time doing this presentation because I think it's amazing how we can be irrational beings most of the times when we're exposed to financial decisions and how we can be manipulated by businesses to get us to consume one thing instead of another or to change our options based on how we're presented the options or to what price we are presented first. And I think it's something that we really know so that we know when we're exposed to one of these tricks that businesses use to get us into consuming more or into consuming something that is more profitable for them. Thank you very much.